Good morning.
Morning.
How you guys doing?
Good. How's everybody else?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Can you hear the lovely sound of
I can. I was wondering if that was yours.
I love it. Every Friday morning I'm greeted. It's so nice.
You're like, I know it's Friday.
I'm gonna go grab something that I printed out just real quick. I'll be right back, guys. Just one
I
second.
might mute myself just for that reason.
Leslie, are you in a robe?
I'm in my North Face
it's a sweater.
jacket.
Okay.
I thought it was a robe at first too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a robe and I was like, Leslie, look at you living it up. Just get ready.
I'm always very tempted, but
Yeah.
yeah, probably not a good idea. I don't know. It's
I mean, I'm not
freezing
mad
my
at it.
face.
You could be wearing a tank top under a robe.
We should all wear robes next Friday since Brandon's not listening right now, just to throw him off.
Yeah,
We
let's do
should.
it.
Funny.
Next
I'm
Friday.
in. I'll
Hi,
send out a
Brandon.
text.
I got this robe with like clouds on it and stuff, so it's very, very sleepy looking.
Oh my
I like it.
I got one. It's got Batman logos all over it.
Oh
Ah!
yes, there we go.
God. I got polka dots.
I have one that I took from Chumash.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
This is recorded, so
I know.
Yeah.
What am I walking into right now? What's going on?
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All
You look like
right.
you're going golfing, Brandon.
Hey, that's the gear that I won from St. Bonnie's, dude. So I was like, let's go. Let me throw it on. Got my golf shirt, got my golf hat. I was
Nice.
about to put the white glove on, but then I was like, maybe Dusty will be inspired. Let's go out and hit some balls, man.
Let's go.
I want to
Alright.
hit some balls.
You want to hit some balls, Amy?
I can go to the driving range, but that's all I can do.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
That's already better than me. So let's go.
Team
Let's do it.
building.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
down for it.
I was thinking more of what's it called, the putt golf place over in
I
Ventura.
like that place. I like that place.
I need
They're
to
open.
practice my putting.
There we go. I'm thinking more of that. Let's do it. Well, we should set that up soon. Do golf and
Okay.
stuff. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
golf and
yeah.
stuff.
Is it open back up now?
Yeah,
Cool.
it
All right.
is.
Yvette was there
Well,
last week.
Friday.
No, it's been open for a few weeks
Cool.
because
All
I
right,
want to
well.
go.
It sounds like everybody's pretty woke up and excited. I don't know if you saw my post at like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I was gonna text you. I was up. I was like, "Are you up right now?"
Oh, you were up too, man. Dude.
I
It's
was reading.
yeah, same here. That's actually when I responded to your text. Actually,
Yeah, I saw
You
that.
sent
That's
me
why I
a
was
link.
like, I'm gonna assume he's not awake. But then I'm like, he sent this email 2 hours ago. It's like 3 in the morning.
Right. All right. Just pulling up the self-confidence formula right now. Did you guys see the questions? I didn't post them till last night, so
I
I
got
don't
'em.
know if you saw them or
I got
not.
them on my phone.
Should be
Yeah, I
on-
got it.
Do you
Yeah.
guys do you want to pick one of those while I'm looking for the self-confidence formula?
There we go.
I'll do the temporary defeat.
Okay, that's a
I'll
good one.
share a little
Wow.
story.
Temp defeat. Awesome. And what number is that one?
I don't know if you had it numbered.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
think
they're
I
not
do.
numbered, but
I think it's more like 4 or 5.
I think it's at 3. 3. You're 3.
3. Okay, so I got you in for 3, and that's the one I had blank too. So I don't know if I had it on.
Yeah, I
there.
got the blank one.
You
Ah,
got the
shit.
blank one. Awesome.
I could do dose, number dose.
Number dose.
I'll do number 1.
That's because you're number 1, Dusty.
How many questions?
Why,
are there?
thank you.
1, 2.
You're
I'm
welcome
still
anytime.
counting them out right now. 5, 6, 7 of them. 8. There's 8 in total. I don't know why I only have. There we go. Cool. Any other volunteers? So we still have, what is it? So we got 1, 2, 3. We're missing 4 as major attributes of leadership. Which attributes come naturally to
Yeah,
you?
I'll do that one.
Okay. So we got Anthony on 4. Got 5, 6, 7, and 8 are still left. And just Who else? Who we
I mean,
missed?
I can do 5 if you need someone to pick up another one. Leslie, have you picked one?
I'm still looking.
You like that? I'm like, let me call you out real quick. Brandon, what number did you pick?
You know, I take whatever's left over. You guys don't want me to pick one because then it'll take 30
Okay.
minutes.
For
to
the
get
last.
over that.
You can
Yeah,
get
we'll
number
never
8.
get to the next question. I'll do 5 too if you want.
We got Yvette or which one did Leslie pick? Did Leslie pick one
Okay.
yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so you
And
have
well,
5. Yvette has
yeah.
5. So it's
And
just 6,
2.
7, and 8.
Review the 20.
6 is 30 causes of failure. Which of these can you identify with? 7 is review the 28 questions titled Take Inventory of Yourself. You may want to answer these questions with a mastermind partner to a close friend. So if you guys haven't done this, you definitely want to either over the weekend or sometime next week go through this. This checklist is probably one of the most key things through the book in terms of identifying where you're at, where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are at, and to really, if like you get any message through this book, this could be the one thing that helps you get on track to where you want to be. So I remember Ken always telling me when he gave me the book, he's, oh, did you get to the checklist? You get to the checklist? I'm like, what are you talking about? I must have skipped right over the chapter or listened to it on audiobook and didn't pick up what he was talking about. I don't know what my excuse was, but I was like, I think I have a different version of the book than you got, you know? And then I go through it here. It's like, oh, this is what he's talking about. But you want to be as brutally honest with yourself about these questions, you know, and that's pretty helpful. So 6, 7, and 8, did you pick one yet?
I'll do the 30 major causes of failure.
Okay. And then we got 28 questions, how to take inventory of yourself. Everybody's got at least one now, right?
Let me
Okay.
get my book real quick.
Yeah, it's okay. And then 8, how was reviewing the above 4 lists, giving you more self-awareness? What did you learn about yourself? That's cool. That's enough to get rolling. So once Leslie gets back here, we'll get going. It's 9:10. So
I have a guest listening in today. She's working over here, so she's gonna be over there working. I said, just go work and listen. It might be good
Yeah.
for you. I hear something
Awesome.
you like.
is this your friend that you're always talking about?
That's Nicole. Yeah, this
Hey,
is
Nicole.
Nicole, who I always.
Hi,
She's been
Nicole.
working.
Nicole.
And Nicole.
But I told her, I said, just listen in. You might like something. It might be cool.
Awesome.
You might read the book after. Who knows? I don't have any more books to give away.
Well,
It's
Nicole,
different listening to it on audio.
Nicole,
Brandon.
just so you know, I don't have any trips planned anytime in the near future. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
She knows about every trip because she's here, and I'm like, he's gone again.
Yep.
I want to go to Big Bear next weekend if there's snow.
Yeah, there's snow out there right now. Danielle actually showed it to me on the weather. I was like, babe, we can't go right now.
Well, it hailed here. Yes, it hailed on my end to see me yesterday, and Oliver was like, "Mom, do you think it'll snow tonight?" And I was like, "Nah, probably won't do this ever again, kid. Sorry."
Yeah, it's
Our winter is
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
We got some hail here in Camarillo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not over
That's
here.
cool.
all right. Well, let's
All
let's
right.
get started with that self-confidence formula. Then we'll jump into it. I thought I had it up, but I didn't see it on the share screen right now. So let's see what's going on with that.
See if I can find it in my book.
Okay.
Oh, found it in my book. We're good.
You already found it.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead, lead us off.
Oh, damn it. First, I know that I have the ability to
One sec,
achieve.
I'm gonna put it up and then you can do it.
I told you I was gonna start. I have it.
You got it. Why is it
Already. See if I
showing?
like.
I'm just gonna put it on desktop then. Okay. I'll do share so you can see desktop. And it's still not showing.
It's
Come
there you
on.
go.
Here we go. We got it. All right. You guys see it? All right. So we'll all mute ourselves other than Yvette. You ready, Yvette?
Sure.
All right, let's go.
First, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts in my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I tend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Third, I know through the principle of auto-suggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of obtaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Fourth, I've clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use in the cooperations of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing a love for all humanity because I know that a negative attitude towards other can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts, actions, so I will become a self-reliant and successful person.
Yeah.
Hoorah.
Nice job, Eva.
You're welcome. I read it faster.
That was good.
Good job.
All right, we can unmute ourselves now so we can hop on this because I think we got Dusty kickstarting this awesome
What?
session we're gonna have right now. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So what's the most helpful idea from the chapter from you, Dusty?
Well, first of all, I actually really loved this chapter.
Cool.
There was a lot of it's funny, I felt like it took a lot of little things that I've already been reading in other chapters, but really just put it more in depth. And for me, it's kind of hard to choose one, but the 28 questions on page 145,
Mhm.
these are really great. And, you know, all the way down to just little things of like what I try to do at the end of the day and reflect on, you know, did I handle my communication today with my clients in to the best of my ability? Did I provide the service that my clients deserve? So just these questions and to continue to reflect on, I just love it because it's almost like the more you question yourselves with these, the better I'll become, and the more it helps me fine tune the person the agent that I want to be.
Awesome. Cool. Sounds good. Anything anybody else wants to add to that or any feedback for Dusty?
I agree.
You concur?
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard because that one was so great with that. But then I also loved the like the little, I forget what page it's on, but just kind of going over like leadership and
Mhm.
the details
I
of
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, leadership was definitely a big part of this chapter. And that was the part that spoke to me at first, just for just things going on in my personal life, with business, with everything. It was definitely key. I'm trying to look through my notes here just to see if there's anything else worth adding to it, but no, that was good.
I like the QQS rating. That was new to me.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. What'd you like about it? What was it about?
Well,
that-
just your quality on like how your performance. You see, I wrote some notes. So just like the quality of how you're performing, and then the quantity of, you know, the habit of giving what you're capable of doing,
Mhm.
and then your spirit habit of agreeable conduct, you know, it makes me think, you know, am I fulfilling those, that rating, you know,
Right.
something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved how they talked about the spirit of it, because it's like it was really like seemed like it was talking to us as realtors, right? Like if we don't have that spirit and we're not pumped up and take control of conversations, like for example, right now, just dealing with a client and they're excited, but they're so stressed out. It's on us to have that spirit of not only, hey, yeah, this is exciting, but listen, I got you. You know, I know what I'm doing. Just trust in me, and it's all gonna be okay. Everything's gonna work out. And that's kind of what I got from that, Amy, that spirit of us.
Spirit and energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking control of the situation in a positive way to make, reassure them that, it's all gonna be good.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, really good. Just, I guess one of the things that I just added to it from the last time that we went through it, I remember the conversation I was having with somebody, and he was just basically saying one of the things was he didn't have as much education, so he kind of felt like that hindered him in terms of attaining his goals. So the line that stuck out to me was, any person who is educated is one who has learned to get whatever he wants in life without violating the rights of others. Education consists not so much of knowledge, but of knowledge effectively and persistently applied. Men are paid not merely for what they know, but more particularly for what they do with which they know. And I like just the line of, it's being able to get what you want without violating the rights of others. And that's just a really important sentence to understand and comprehend, that, when you apply these principles, it's amazing in terms of how you can help people out. And the story, I don't know if I shared it with anybody here in this particular group, but this really resonated with me over the weekend when I went on my RV trip, and I was spending time with a good friend of mine that we kind of disconnected for a while. Actually, I did share this with Dusty a little bit, so Dusty's heard some of the story. So as the guy starts just sharing with me, I remember telling myself, that I was going to ask questions and just listen to what's going on, with him. And he said afterwards, he just thanked me, and he just said, dude, you don't understand what kind of day you caught me on with what was going on in my life, especially with work. And he had a lot of these negative thoughts coming into his head, and starts getting concerned because he's a breadwinner for his family. And so all I'm doing is listening. And I've given him the book a long time ago, and he told me, he's like, I don't like to read. So I was like, dude, just read the freaking book, man. I said, everything that you're talking about is in the book. The answers are in there. So he listens to it as he's going out to Vegas, and he's listening to it on audiobook. And he's actually right in the same chapter. He was getting onto leadership, and it was all about leadership. It was all about, he mentioned something about things being like kind of dumb luck, that this newer guy came in who's under him, and he gives the account, the mentor gives the account to the mentee, and the mentee discovers something that ends up being the biggest account out of all the accounts. But their relationship went sour. His and that account, whatever, went sour. So he knew he shouldn't be the point of contact. So he actually did the right thing, gave it to another guy who's up and coming. And now the up and coming guy's getting all the praise. And so it was kind of spun against him, like these, that they're basically showing him up. And I'm listening to the whole thing. I don't answer it right away. And I said, number one, you did the right thing. I said, two, the people who are talking smack, I said, they don't get it. And you can't give them too much weight, because they're just, they're haters basically. And they're looking at the negative qualities, and they're trying to be like, look, this guy showed you up. I said, but it wasn't dumb luck. I said, this guy had specialized knowledge in these pumps and was able to do these certain things. You already knew that you had some friction, but this is about leadership. Leadership is about teaching others and duplicating yourself, and teaching others as much as you can to help them be the best at what they can be. And that's the part that really hit home for me in this book, is when I look at all of us on our team, am I doing everything I can for every single person in here to the best of my ability to help them truly be as successful as they can be? Not worried about, are they going to replace me? Are they going to be better than me? If anybody is better than me, I did my job right. And that's what I should be striving to do. And that's not typically what leaders do, because they're in fear of losing their job, especially if you are the breadwinner. You're worried about, will I lose my position? And all of us, I'm sure, have had jobs where we felt that they were suppressing us or keeping us down or not really empowering us to do what we want to do. So that's really what got me fired up as I'm reading it. That's what got me fired up over the weekend and got me reconnected to this philosophy. So I just wanted to share it, because it's not always about real estate. It's about life, and it's about, this book will give you the ability and the power to help other people out. And when they say induce others to serve you because you're willing to serve them, yes, when they talk about organized planning and they get into all the different things about you're able to get orange juice for like 2 cents from Florida, or grapefruit juice, and then bread from like the Midwest. And this is towards the end of the chapter, so I don't know how many people actually got through it, but the only way that all works is through organized planning. And it is profit driven. It is through capitalism. And it almost gets pretty political about why capitalism is good versus where they talk about the people through the Depression that want the handout, or the people who are working for unions, not offending anybody who works for a union, right? That want to work less hours and get paid more money, right? And the downside to that. So it's so interesting if you really take the time to get through it. And I know it was a super long chapter, so I commend anybody who even just started it and tried to get as far through it. But just wanted to share some of those notes before we jump into.
What's funny about what you said though is I distinctly remember you when I was at when I first became independent for our last employer, when you would come in and be like, the one thing the girl before you was, she kept all the knowledge to herself so that nobody would go elsewhere. And you wanted me to help teach others and show the agents how to do things. And I was like, well, yeah, that seems like common knowledge. But you were like, don't hoard it. And I was like, okay. But like, then I went and trained the Garvin's TC how to do it. And at first they kept me for a long time. Even after I trained her, because she didn't really want to do it. And then and then I have even Jackie, who's like, the only person who's ever stopped and taken time to explain what this means as a TC is you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't work for, her boss. And you would think someone on her team would take the time to teach her how to be a TC.
Right.
And I'm not competing with her in a sense, but it's like, it's not my job to teach her, but I always just was like, well, let me show you so you could be better. Hence why Nicole's here learning how to TC so she can do something else in life and have something else. But it's just like, well, if I give you all my knowledge, you're going to be just as good, if not better. And that's great because it shows that I can teach people.
Absolutely. You can duplicate yourself. And that's how you create something that is so much bigger. And what have you learned through doing that? I mean, has it bit you in the butt? Has it been something negative that you've shown somebody else something positive, and then it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm screwed. Now I'm out of a job, or now
No.
I'm hurt.
No,
financially.
I mean, if not, I feel like it made me better at what I did, because I had to be able to explain it to others.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing to know something yourself, but to break it down to another, like there's times where I'll tell Nicole, okay, well, you need to do this, this, and this. And she'll be like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm realizing in my head, I'm skipping steps because I know it.
Yep.
So I'm having to break it down even more. So, it furthers your understanding of what it is that you're doing anyways. And if not, I think that's what made me more valuable to my agents, is my ability to show them when they're doing something not right, or help correct a situation that they may not have thought of. Because, and I try not to do it. I've always, with my agents, done it in a way that's not stepping on their toes, that it's constructive and they never feel like I'm telling them how to do their job.
That's
Even
awesome.
though really I am.
Well, you make yourself irreplaceable. That's the whole point, is when you're that valuable of a leader that you can help build other leaders and help them grow in their leadership, you become irreplaceable. And what I mean by that is, even if your boss or whoever is above you doesn't see what you're willing to do, I guarantee the competitor sees it. And so that's where you start being able to dictate, okay, this is what I'm worth. This is what I need to do. And if it doesn't happen, then, well, guess what? So-and-so over here is seeing what it is that I do and what I bring to the table. And that's exactly what it becomes. But we don't do it for those reasons. That's just the byproduct of it. You do it because it's the right thing to do. And that's another thing that has been a message recently in conversations with people that I appreciate their feedback, and they're also into the same book, And what they say is you have to do things for other people without expecting anything in return. And then I'll say it, God's grace comes, right? Good things happen. You're blessed abundantly. And it's not necessarily for what you're paid. And you'll like this, Yvette, because you like Gary Vee. Actually, the message came to me. Gary Vee was like, when you get that it's not about likes on social media, when you get it's not about somebody buying your product, it's about adding value and adding content and giving and helping that next person blow up their business. You never see a dime from them. That's what it's about. And when you get that, you are taken care of because you're adding positive, you're help building, as my daughter Emma was explaining to me yesterday about buckets over your head. You got a bucket over your head and Yvette's got a bucket over her head. And I can either fill that bucket, which is happiness, or I can tip that bucket over and dump out the happiness. My daughter's teaching me this. I'm like, that is awesome. She's like, but every time I fill her bucket, I also fill my bucket too. And
Why
every time
isn't she hosting the meetings?
Yeah.
that's why I'm sharing this
Awesome.
right now. Then every time I knock out, I do a put down or I do something and I knock some of your water out of your bucket, I knock it out of mine. She says, but you know what? If somebody's angry and they're not happy and I'm trying to help fill their bucket, even though theirs isn't really filling up because they're angry, my bucket's still being filled up. I was like, oh my gosh, babe. I was like,
Huge,
come on.
huge.
All right,
You
Mike.
just connected
That's
the
it.
source
That's it
right there.
That's all we got.
Man,
Meeting's done.
is she hiring agents right now? I'll go work for her.
Hey, do it. She's running a lemonade stand this week, man. So you can be the top sales guy of that.
Just
Just
hustling
awesome.
lemonade.
Awesome to hear that. So all right, so we got Yvette. So what's a mastermind and why is forming one important?
Oh, well, this is a mastermind. Just
Uh,
no, it's just like having like it. I mean, obviously, like we talked this week, but like it made me think of people that like I wanted to surround myself with that like motivate me to be more and do better, you know. And I told Brandon, one of my best friends just bought an investment property in the Bay for $1 million, and I was just like, I want to get there. Like, I want to be able to throw down money on a $1 million house and just be like, oh, it's no biggie. Like, just chump change in my pocket here and grow my own wealth, but help others and, you know, support others. Because when I talked to her, I was like, damn, like, I'm jealous of you, but like, I'm also so proud of you. And she was like, you're going to get there. Like, I see it. You're already doing big things, you know? And I'm like, oh, look at her pumping me back up. So it's having like the right people who are doing stuff with their lives and in the right mindset, because it keeps you pumped and going. It's like when me and Brandon talking, he's like, I'm pumped now. And I'm like, yeah, go get it. Go sell them houses. You know, and like when we think of ideas and we go off on these crazy ideas that I'm like, those make no sense, but somehow we'll figure this out. And like we're like, yeah, here's a spoken word video. Just watch that. That'll give you all the answers. You know, and it's just nice to have people that have different creative ideas or different backgrounds that help you think of random ideas that work. Like they just come to you in aha moments, and that's what the groups are for.
It's awesome. Anything
I'm
else
done.
anybody else wants to add to the mastermind group and why that's important in forming one?
What's after this?
Well, maybe if you get stuck with something and then you can reach out and get feedback from others and,
Mhm.
you know, then it can help you, you know, move forward and where you need to be.
Absolutely. They talk about when you go through these checklists and you identify your weaknesses, you could either work on those weaknesses or you can bridge them with somebody who's strong in an area that you may be weak. So I know for myself, I needed a CPA to have on retainer because that was always something I dreaded with real estate. It's like I was afraid to make money because it's like, oh my gosh, how much money am I going to have to pay out? Well, you hire somebody who specializes in that and you bridge that weakness so that you can be strong at what it is that you do. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Amy. Anything else? All right, let's move to the next one. So Amy, you're up next. How have you experienced temporary defeat in your life and how have you overcome it?
Well, something happened a few weeks ago and I was doing some cold calling and I set up an appointment. I was so excited about it. And I think Brandon, you know what I'm talking about. And then sent out the Zoom meeting. The girl totally, she said, yeah, I'll be there. And then here I'm on the Zoom with Brandon and Jason, and 6 o'clock comes around and she is a no-show. And that like really, really bummed me out because I was so pumped for it. Because I'm like, yeah, I finally got one. I finally hooked one, you know? So I got in my head for, you know, the rest of the night. And then the next day, I kind of knocked me off my tracks. And I kept trying to refer to the book, you know, not thinking negative and how I can just be positive and what can I take from it. And basically I realized, okay, now I need to ask more questions when I'm talking to that person in the first conversation. And instead of just being like putting that appointment out there, and then she said yes, and I was like, oh great, you know, and that was it. I didn't really ask enough questions. So it just really got me to think, okay, don't take it as such a negative and turn it around as a positive and be like, okay, you're going to learn from that, which is great. You need to ask more questions.
That's great.
But it did, it knocked me off the track for almost a few days. I was just like, man, because it's just, I guess I put too much pressure on myself and I just want something to happen so bad right now. Instead of just like kind of be patient and go through the steps and just learn.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that situation. And, you know, I do know, and I understand how frustrating it can be. And that's where I try to give some perspective, as I mentioned. You know, so a lot of this success principle on this question, the reason why this one's so important is, how do I look at temporary defeat? And that's why it's called temporary defeat. Everything in life is temporary. Life is temporary, right? There's an end point for every single one of us. Temporary defeat is temporary. And if you ever look at a pro athlete, the thing that makes them great, of why they are pros, is because when they make a mistake, if they're good, they have short-term memory and they can forget it and still be great. And with the way they look at these situations is they don't look at it as, okay, once it doesn't work out, I'm done and I give up. I'm over it. The people who quit are failures. The people who can keep persisting. That's why they said Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times as he was trying to figure out the light bulb. He knew he could figure it out. He had half the concept in his head, but it was through the trial and error that every time, he literally said at one point, I've failed so many times at this, I can only succeed, right? If you fail and you exhausted every single possible plausible idea, the only other alternative is success. And he figured it out and it came to him. But that's all on mindset. That's what makes him a genius. It's not that he's got a brain that's smarter than any one of us, but what he has figured out is he's figured out how to work with other people who have certain knowledge. He's figured out how to never give up. He's figured out the persistence part, which is a chapter that's coming up as well. And so it's all mindset of how anybody can respond well to a good situation. That's easy. But what really tests you is these bad situations. How do you react from that? And can you find a seed of equal or greater benefit? And that's what's awesome about this, is you should get to where you look forward to temporary defeat. And if you can get to that, not only does it seem like you're sick in the head, right? But you are getting closer to understanding what it's going to take to be successful, because you pulled out one very key principle, was to ask more questions to create more value, so that they know when they show up to that appointment that it's going to be worth their time, that there's no way they could ever even reschedule or move it, because they understand how important it is for them to be there on that call. And it's, you know, it's like, okay, I'm going to have the best of the best talking to me right now. So, in sharing information that's going to help me attain my goal. So thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. Anything else? I think I saw Anthony. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something because,
Yes.
you know, I have a lot of experience with appointments and shows and no shows.
Right.
And I could tell that it's like really bothering you. Like, one thing you first have to get off or get straight is that you can't take it personal. Like, obviously it's like carrying on to the next day and it's really bothering you. Like, the people, whether they know you or don't know you, you can't take it personal. Like he said, a quitter never wins and a winner never quits.
Mhm.
And everything's just kind of a learning lesson. I mean, you got to just try different tactics, especially for setting appointments. I found that there's a couple little things you could do to confirm an appointment. You set up the initial appointment, whether it's tomorrow or a week out. You always want to send an email, text notification just saying, hey, wanted to confirm our appointment for tomorrow, just a friendly reminder, it's at 6 o'clock, yada, yada, whatever. And sometimes what helps is, depending on the situation, you can have like Brandon call. So it kind of makes it more solid to say, hey, I just wanted to take a quick call. I see you have an appointment today with Amy at 6 o'clock. Wanted to make sure you're going to be there. Something like that makes people stick to their appointment rather than, hey, can you meet with us tomorrow at 6 o'clock? Oh, you can? Okay, great. Because, then it's, people will just back out of it for whatever reason. So instead of saying, what could have I done different, or why didn't they show up, and putting it all on you, don't take it too personal. Just, figure out what will work better the next time and just keep going. Don't take it personal.
Cool. Great advice. Yeah, anything else anybody else wants to add to that?
You know what's a good way to get used to rejection? None of you have to do this. Dating websites. You want to get ghosted? Join Tinder.
I love it.
I'm just saying, you'll get really good at not taking it personally.
That's awesome.
You're
Cool.
welcome.
I heard I think it was like a news guy asked Michael Jordan, I think they were like, if they were going to lose the upcoming game in this playoff, they were going to have to go back to whatever team's hometown they were playing. And so the guy asked Michael, what are you nervous about not shooting well and losing the game and going back? And Jordan's reply was, dude, why would I worry about something that hasn't happened yet? And when I heard that, it was like, dang, because there's so many times you project that worry. You project, oh my God, if that client doesn't call me back, or like in his case, oh, if I don't shoot well, and just goes to prove how elite someone like that is. He's like not even thinking negative. This thing was like, dude, why would I trip on that? Game hasn't even started yet. So I just wanted to share that, because when I heard that, it was like the light bulb went on, because it's so easy to project that what if versus the positive. And then yeah, if it doesn't go your way, it's short-term memory of like, okay, well, moving on to the next one. And then again, that task hasn't happened yet. So why would I think negative on that one?
That's great. Thank you, Dusty. I love what Babe Ruth says, where he says, who has more strikeouts than anybody else, but he's known as one of the greatest hitters of all time. Babe Ruth says, when they ask him, so how do you deal with the strikeout? He says, I feel sorry for the next pitcher. Because he knows next pitcher, he's going to smash that next ball after he strikes out. That's how you have to look at it. It's all mindset. It's all your belief in yourself. It's knowing, it's not being afraid to strike out. It's not being afraid for a no-show. It's knowing it's part of the process. And that's all it is. It's 50-50, just so you all know, on prospecting, 50-50 whether they actually show up to the appointment. It's 50% chance they're going to reschedule or cancel. Now you can increase your percentages by a few tricks. And since we're on the topic, one trick is setting the appointment within 48 hours from when you set the appointment. The longer it goes out, the more likelihood they're not going to show up. So that's one trick, is when you set the appointment, try to do it within the next 48 hours where it's still pretty raw and fresh. Other thing that I've actually heard, especially if you have an amiable, which you have to know personality styles, they'll tell you yes to get off the phone. They'll say, yes, I'll show up, because they don't want you to keep pressuring them. So they'll just tell you it just to get off the phone. So you have to know personality style. So if you shoot them a text, hey, are we still good for this time? They're going to cancel, and they're going to cancel by text. So you got to call them. So that's where the call becomes more important than even the text, right? So there's little things, again, you don't know this until you have to master your own system of follow-up and master your own system of setting appointments. Okay. So that was awesome though. Thank you, Anthony and Dusty, for what you added to that. So Anthony, you're up next. Review the major attributes of leadership. Which attributes come naturally to you? Which attributes are challenging for you?
Well, I like the question in itself. That's why I picked it, because, you know, you're looking at like what kind of applies more to you and what isn't so much, which kind of leads you to like the following question of, you know, what causes you to fail as like a leader. I felt that, the ones that come natural to me, it's kind of like, you know, making decisions, you know, like I kind of have like a plan already in my mind and I just kind of stick to it. I don't really deviate from it, which kind of resonated when I was reading about, you know, Henry Ford and the Model T. Because people are like opinionated and telling them like, oh, you should change it, you should change it. And it's like, it's not broken. Why am I going to change it? You know, it's making me successful. And then that decision is kind of aligned with the fifth item, which is kind of like the plan. So, you know, a successful leader must plan the work and work the plan. So it's just kind of like you trusting the process, like, you know what's successful because it's been proven. So just sticking to it. And part of that is kind of number 9, like the mastery of detail. Because I know like when I'm selling, there's at like it's like auto suggestion. It's at my subconsciousness, like it's already hardwired into me, and I know like little details I need to touch on to kind of just lead to the close, you know. And I guess things that are a little bit challenging for me is sorry, let me pick one. I guess it's the habit of doing more than paid for, because I'm kind of like, I don't hold anything back. I'm like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 100%. And I guess at times it could be a bad thing, you know, but it's just kind of like, again, the decision that I've already made that I'm going to give you more than you anticipated and kind of just overwhelm you as opposed to leave you empty-handed.
Sounds good. Thanks for sharing. Anything else anybody else would like to add? I know we're getting to the last 15 minutes, so I want to respect the time and make sure everybody's got a chance. Yvette, you're not going to get, or Leslie's not going to get off the hook. So we got Yvette and Leslie. So we got to make sure we keep it moving. But thanks for sharing that, Anthony. Yvette, 10 major causes of failure in leadership. Which of these causes can you identify with?
Well, I feel like probably a little bit of intemperance, because like sometimes I can be a hothead, and I know that about myself. And I'm working on not being such a hothead and reacting. Like I just don't really have a great filter. So if I think something's like someone's done something wrong, like I'll tell you the other person on the side of your deal is an idiot. And then I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. But it doesn't mean it's not true. Like Nicole gets to hear me all day when she's like, well, this person didn't fill out a contract. I'm like, yeah, that person's dumb. And I'm like, damn it. But it all like that I struggle with. And like also I felt like sometimes, where was it? There was one, like not emphasis on authority of leadership, but like sometimes I forget to be like a kind leader, you know, like not just telling someone like, oh no, that's the wrong way to do it, but like also giving the compliment, but like of what they did right prior to telling them how to like do something better. And that's I'm very direct, and I forget that sometimes you have to like ease people into changes. Like you're very good at it, Brandon. You like to tell people, no, that's good, but, and then you give them the answer, you know. And so that's where I think for me as a leader, sometimes I forget you have to soften your personality, because not everyone likes directness or responds well to the directness. That's
Well,
the
you already answered what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, why do you think that's the case? So it's not about trying to butter it up. It's not about trying to not be direct, but there's an effective way to communicate. And as we talk about that book, Versatile Selling, the relationship tension is always high up front. They don't trust you, whoever you're talking to. They don't trust you. Now, if it's somebody that you love and they love you and you guys know you're coming from it, you can probably be a little bit more direct and confront them out of love. And people know it's like, all right, this person doesn't hate me, right? But it still may not be the most effective way. So you may want to compliment them first or point out something positive and then come with the constructive criticism. But why does it work? Why is it effective or more effective that way? Muted you out.
I thought my dog was about to bark. I apologize.
Sorry.
So, well, I like, because people are more receptive, like because I've read like How to Win Friends and Influence People as well. It's like, you know, if you get people, like, you have to soften people up. Like, you know, if you just come at them hard, their walls are up and they don't hear anything you say. But when you can show that you see the positives in them as well, they're more open to hearing what could use improvement.
Right. It's one of the things I was taught with coaching when I was at the previous company. And they basically said that anytime you give any kind of constructive criticism, you always want to try to compliment. If you can, usually, I think they said 3 to 5 compliments before one constructive criticism. And it's praise, 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 and then constructive criticism. And that's the most effective coaching. And what we do with our clients, whether you know it or not, is you're coaching your clients. Whether you don't think that you're an actual coach or not, you are. They have a goal that they're trying to accomplish. There's challenges that come between them reaching that goal. Your job is to guide them, to coach them, to influence them, to reaching that goal, to help them self-discover that, right? So if you come out and you're just critical the entire time, they're probably not going to like you too much. They're probably not going to be so receptive. They're probably not going to follow your lead. They may not answer your calls. They may not do it. So if you come across as, and I'm not saying anybody on here does, but if you come off as judgmental or critical or negative or just too hard, it's not a very effective way of communicating to get people to want to work. And you got to think, they always say they got to like you, they got to trust you, and then you'll earn the right for them to follow you. Okay, like, then trust, then follow. It doesn't just start off right out the gate because Dusty is phenomenal that I'm just going to listen to everything he says and just do whatever he tells me to do, right? He's got to earn that trust. Sound good, guys?
What was that third one? You said like, trust, and what?
Then follow.
Follow.
Yep. It's all leadership. Everything we do in this business is leadership. Everything we do in life is leadership. And this could be between your spouses, right? Could be just trying to figure out where we're going to go eat tonight, right? It's leadership. You gotta ask it the right way. You got to make sure you're doing it the right way, or you will see plenty of rejection. You want the dating site rejection? You see plenty of rejection from that significant other, those kids, whoever. They will be rejecting you all day, and you will not be afraid of rejection because it's a constant. So you got to get good at influencing, right? And buttering them up, as Yvette says.
Do you like those conversations with your significant other when you go, oh, where do you want to eat tonight? Oh, I don't know. Where do you want to eat? And it goes back and forth. Well, I don't know. You pick.
And that's
And they
every
go,
night.
no, it's your turn. You pick.
Yeah, every night.
We have those conversations a lot.
Yep. And then you pick. It's like, I don't want to go there. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
get out of here with this. You're killing me. All right. Yeah, we need a tough mindset just for that conversation and situation right there. All right. So we got Leslie up next. The 30 major causes of failure. Which of these can you identify with?
Okay, so I picked 4. I picked 4 that I felt kind of talked to me. I'll read them out and then I'll explain them. So lack of ambition to aim above mediocrity. I guess you just always need ambition. That's the fire that starts it all. Okay. And then what was the next one? Lack of self-discipline. You know, sometimes you don't want to do stuff. You don't want to get up, you don't want to do it, but you got to. And it's, yeah, it's rough, but you just got to roll out of bed and go for it. And then lack of a well-definite power of decision, being undecisive. Oh, I've struggled with this quite a bit. There's times where I'm like Amy said, I don't know what to eat. Just pick something, right? Just pick it, eat it. Let's move on. Right? It's that blunt sometimes. And then wrong selection of mate in marriage. So this person you spend 24 hours, 7 days a week with, I feel like that is huge and important, to just pick the right person, you know, otherwise it's like you could have bad days sometimes, which is going to happen, but you know, it's, I don't know. It helps business too. We don't realize it, but it helps business.
Those are good ones. I'm just curious, because when you say lack of ambition to aim above mediocrity, in my opinion, you're one of the more ambitious people I've ever met in terms of persistence, never giving up. I know we've had some very, very, just blunt conversations during tough times of us knowing each other. And I've never met anybody more committed to becoming a great real estate agent. And I mean that. I've met a lot of people. And when I say that is, we've talked it out thoroughly, because there's been some very tough struggles early on compared to what is happening now. And you're still, as you know, we're always growing, right? We're always learning. We can always be better. But
Right.
I feel you're one of the most persistent and you have the ambition. So why would you pick that one as being a challenge for you to aim above mediocrity? That's the part that I'm trying to grasp a little bit more.
I guess I found it to be really important to just have, not necessarily that I struggle too much with it, but there are days, you still, you lose sight of your goal and what you really want. And then you're like, wait a minute, I wrote it down. Or wait a minute, I have to go back to it and remind myself why am I doing this? Right. So
Right.
You go back and you review it and you're like, okay, this is why I'm still struggling, but I'm still doing it, at the end of the day.
Right.
So
That's good. So that's work for you. It's just having it written somewhere or rewriting it to make sure that you keep your goal in front of you.
exactly.
Awesome. No, that was good. Anything else anybody else would like to add to that? All right, we're getting down to the last 5 minutes, so I'll try to wrap it up for you real quick. I don't know if we'll get into each of these, but it says
I have a
review.
question.
Go ahead, Amy.
Sorry.
That's okay.
How do you feel about vision boards?
Go
Great.
for me or for Brendan.
No, go ahead, Leslie.
Oh, no, I
Right.
was asking Brandon, but go ahead, Leslie.
Oh, I know. I think that's great. It's great because it's actually better than writing it down.
Yeah.
So I
Didn't
was
you put
looking
getting
in that-
married on your vision board?
Mhm.
What happened?
Didn't you put getting married on your vision board?
You want to see it?
Yeah.
I think in that workbook, it has something like a
That's
vision
what she
board.
did.
I love it. I just totally took over, Amy. Like when you asked me about that.
That's why I wanted.
Oh
her
my
to
God,
answer.
that is so awesome.
So I do have married, and this is before I really,
No, this is
well
before you-
before Stephen, actually.
Right.
So,
Yeah, we won't tell Stephen all the other stories.
don't- keep it a secret. And then just, just enjoying
Very
life a little.
cool.
My friend ate at that restaurant in Italy.
Really?
Yeah, she lived in Italy for 4 years and went there.
Yay. I want to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
She
so
says
Amy,
it's phenomenal.
it's very powerful. And it's I always thought it was kind of cheesy when I first heard about him before, till I did it, and I need to work on mine a little bit more. But it's anything, images have symbolism, and it taps into the emotional side of your subconscious. So it's very powerful to see it on a constant. And that's where I tried to talk about on Tuesday, just about creating the right environment. in the office so that you see whether it's your vision board, you see your prospects, you see your pipeline, you see who you keep everything in front of you, important messages like what Anthony just said, that line, that's actually, we're trying to do a poster for like softball. And I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the right line that's going to resonate? And I don't know if it resonates or not, but it resonates with me. So I'm hoping it resonates with a kid out there, right? That sees a sign and it's a winner never quits, a quitter never wins, right? And it's persistence and it's never giving up. And it's the understanding of that. So, but if you have that up, and it actually says it in the book, write that statement and put it in front of you so you see that every single day. A winner never quits, a quitter never wins. Just how important is that, you know? So now I think it's good. It says to take a couple hours though and do it and just block it out. And it says to take magazines. I don't have magazines, so that's what prevented me from doing it before. So what I did was I wrote
That's my excuse too.
yeah, I wrote a list of a bunch of things that I wanted. So I already knew it's like, okay, I want to go back to Florence. I want to open my own pizza company, right? I want to see Veteran Home Services grow to something, you know, phenomenal. So I actually had the picture that I have of the headshot of everybody on there, and it's all printed out. Actually, Yvette just saw it the other day when she came over. She saw the vision board. I had Think and Grow Rich, a photo of Think and Grow Rich, the book. I had the Bible. I had, you know, I had these different things. I had family. I had Emma hitting the ball off the machine and me coaching behind. I had the Mustang cherried out the way that I've always wanted it. And, you know, Dusty's known me for a long time, knows that the best it looked was on my wedding day when they buffed it out, and it's never looked that good since then, you know, that was already a long time ago. So I got all the things in front of me because I know that's what I want to do. I want to have these trips. I want to go on these vacations, right? The things that I'm actually doing now. So it's good. It's really good, Amy, to keep you on track. Anything that helps you stay positive and stay on track.
Well, I still need to do it. So if anybody wants to join me, you guys come over.
Cool.
Do you have
Well, look,
magazines?
Huh?
Well, do you have magazines?
I have some, but I can easily get some.
yeah, you
Well,
Google search.
or-
That's what I'm saying. Just Google
Yeah.
search. That's why I typed in like pizza. And then got a picture of
Yeah.
an Italian style pizza, right? And it was a margarita pizza or whatever. And I just printed it out and cut it out and put it on my vision board. All you need is a visual photo of it. So don't use that magazine excuse. You got the internet, Eva. Come on.
Yeah. Come on
I just
over.
bought ink so I can print.
You could. Oh, now that was the other one was ink.
That
too.
was the second excuse, was I was out of ink.
Right. All right. So just wrapping it up, I'm trying to see. Really, it just says review the 28 questions titled Take Inventory Yourself. You may want to answer these questions with a mastermind partner. So you can do it yourself or somebody like Yvette that will be brutally honest with you. And she'll be like, Brandon, you're lying, or you're boring. You need to pick it up right now. Right. So
I feel like that was a personal attack at what I told you just the other day.
no, it was perfect. It got me thinking. So it did exactly what I wanted it to do. You got to have people in your life that are going to be honest to you. Not everybody who tells you what you want to hear. And that sucks. It's not that it sucks what Yvette told me. It's you want people who are going to be brutally honest to you so that we can become our best. But
I mean,
if
I
you know-
started with a positive.
you did. But you come from a good place. And I know you want what's best for us. I know you want what's best for the team, you know, so I'm all about it. I didn't cry about it. I worked on it afterwards. Right? You know? So it says, man, know thyself. If you market merchandise successfully, you know the merchandise. The same is true in marketing personal services. So you have to know yourself. What do I bring to the table? Where are my strengths? Where are my weaknesses? You should know all of your weaknesses in order that you may either bridge them or eliminate them entirely. Sound familiar? You should know your strength in order that you may call attention to it when selling your services. You should know yourself only through accurate analysis. And a lot of this book also is about thinking accurately. And what I mean by that is you don't jump on hearsay. You don't jump on rumor or gossip or opinion. You don't give that too much weight. You have to be good at knowing when you're getting legit facts and who's giving you that information and where are you getting it from. And then once you got all the facts, be decisive, make a decision, and don't be afraid about being wrong because it's part of the process. And even if you're wrong, and that's what I love about my kids, and I'll end it on that note. Ask Emma, what's the best thing about losing? Does anybody know the answer to this? Feel free to jump out. What's the best thing about losing in baseball or sports or life? What's the best thing about it?
You're all.
Try again.
You
The
figure it out.
lesson,
What's that?
the lesson.
The lesson.
Yeah,
You
learn.
figure out how to win. The best thing about losing is you figure out how to win. And this is from a top agent in Cameroon just the other day. I'm in her house. We got her offer accepted and I was stoked. And this was, it's more like 2-3 months ago. She told me, and this is real talk. She was just like, look, I don't learn from the listings that I get. I learn from the listings I don't get. And that's an important thing to understand. It's you learn so much when you lose, when you don't get that listing, and it sucks. Or if you don't get them to show up to that appointment, it sucks. But guess what? If they show up and everything just works out, it's like, oh, I'm good. I got this figured out. You know, I'm going to go golf now, right? I'm going to go enjoy myself. I'm going to have a beer. I'm going to celebrate, whatever. And you're not growing. You're not learning. It's the loss that is important. It's the loss you should look forward to because that's where you're going to grow the most. And now you're going to do 10 times what you would have done if you would have just won in that situation easily. So, you know, I hope there was some good nuggets of information through this session. I know it was a long chapter. The great news is the next one's like 10 pages. So next week's going to be a piece of cake after this one. If you didn't finish this one, don't sweat it. Don't feel like you got to catch up and read every page because I know I've skipped over this in the past because there was stuff I was reading this time. I was like, there's no way I read that in years previous, you know, but there was some good stuff in there. So just thank you guys all for your commitment. Was it good? Did you get something
Yep,
out of
good.
it?
Yeah,
Yes.
All
thank
right.
you.
You guys have a good weekend. We'll be back on the real estate training Tuesday, 10 a.m. and then we'll do it again next Friday. I'll get the questions out earlier too. So if you guys want to type it up, I know like Amy was writing it out. I think it's helpful to have some things prepared ahead of time so we keep this thing as engaging as possible. Sound good?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You guys have a good weekend. Thank you.
Okay,
You
bye.
too.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right.
Doodles.
Bye.